goes. Okay, tweet sent out. Got chat open. Okay. Now, before I hit start, I'm going to explain something. So this... Oh, my voice is really... I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Okay, so this is the trailer for Monster Hunter Rise. What was originally called Monster Hunter Next as a project was announced today. And I'm going to stream the trailer and talk about it. I have a lot of thoughts and a couple of concerns about this. So as we go, I'll pause the trailer every now and then to kind of just like talk about it. Oh shit, right, Kitty Chong wanted to know when I was going to stream. Give me a second, I have to send it to him too. He might be asleep, I'm not sure. Okay. So let's start the video and I will give you guys my thoughts. These guys off to the side look like they're gonna be the great Jaggies or the, you know, generic dinosaur monster that attacks you on every fucking level, are just generally annoying. I am really digging the almost Japanese, well, it's definitely Japanese, but like the almost, or, what am I trying to say? The like traditional Japanese era looking ruins and shit. I think they look really good. As you guys know from my earlier streams, my favorite village is Yukumo. The village they show in this has a lot of Yukumo vibes, so I'm really happy about that. I really love this armor design. I have no idea what monster it is. It looks like it's going to be a new one, but I fucking love it. Except for the headband, I'm really hoping you can turn off head armor again. And this is the big, like, new seller for me. That dog companion that he's riding, well, I guess it's more of a wolf. They're called Palamutes, and this is the first game they're in. Every other game you've only had Palicos, or in 3 you had... Fuck, what were their names in 3? I don't remember what the fuck the companions were named in 3, but they made little chime noises. Anyway, the cat they said in the direct, your Palico, is going to be strictly healing. No offensive capability whatsoever, only healing. The dog is attacking, and you can use it as a ride the same way you can tame monsters in Iceborne to ride them. I really like that you don't have to tame monsters now, especially because they're keeping with World's themes of having a giant seamless open world and like turf wars and shit. You'll see one between an Arzuros and one of the new monsters. There's actually a lot of world-isms in this game, which kind of surprised me. I was really expecting them to go the more 4 Ultimate or maybe even XX route and have like the Hunter arts and classic Monster Hunter gameplay, but it is very apparent that they're going for more of a toned down world feel.
Let's go!
There you can see the dog running. Okay, so this thing. I think they called it a wire bug in the trailer. Or in the direct rather. It's essentially the claw hook, or whatever the fuck they called it, in Iceborne. Except you have a limited number of them. They didn't give the exact number, but if you look at the guy's belt, he pulled one off and shot it, and there's 4 more on his belt. So my guess is that you have 5 uses of it, and then you either have to find more or let it recharge. Also, something I noticed, there is no scout flies in this, which were used in World and Iceborne to track down monsters. If they're keeping the giant open world theme of World, or at least toning it down, because they specifically mentioned that each new locale is new and is a giant seamless open area, I'm really wondering how you're supposed to track down monsters without having the scout flies. It might be that it's back to classic Monster Hunter where you just have to look around and try and find the fucker and then tag him with a paintball or have psychic or something. But I'm not sure how they're gonna incorporate that with giant maps where you can literally wall run like fucking Prince of Persia. I feel like a lot of people are just gonna end up running right past a monster and not even realizing the monster was there. There were a lot of times in World where the scout flies would take me to where the monster was at, and there was just so much shit on screen that I didn't realize the monster was there until it was attacking me. Alright, here you can see him kind of doing like an aerial double jump with it, and like a backflip there. That looked like one of the healing bugs from World. I can't remember what the fuck they're called. I think they're called Vigor Wasps. But it looks like they're just hanging out in the world. The cat drops one at some point in the direct, but it looks like they'll also just be floating around. You can see one over in the far corner above the Peggy 12 sign as well. It also looks like there's a couple little blue sparkles on the cliff on the far side there. I'm not sure if those are just like visual after effects of him using the wire bug, or if you have to actually walk up to wire bugs to collect them and use them. Here you can see the big new appeal is extremely fast climbing using the wire bug, or just straight up running along walls and shit. To me, that sounds like an evolution of 4 Ultimate's verticality and World's like seamless movement integration. Seems sort of like a combined evolution of those two. Here we see the new town, which, as I said, gives me a lot of Yukumo vibes. This dude, I straight up thought was the commander from World until I heard him speak.
It looks like we've got a rampage on our hands.
So they hint at this rampage a lot, but never explicitly say what it is. I'm assuming it's something akin to Gore Magala's virus. That was the main plot point of 4 Ultimate. It shares a lot of visual cues with that. Malamar, I believe, or Malamor, I think is the name of the new flagship. He has the same sort of purple hazy bullshit that Gore Magala used, so I'm assuming it's something akin to that, or maybe it's like the Blight from Stories 1. You can actually see it there in the background, that little purple glowy dot there. These are some of the new monsters. Here you can see the movement and like animations are literally just straight up from World, which is nice, but also kind of annoying for me, because it means the styles aren't returning. And I really fucking like Valor and Adept style specifically, and Aerial. So it's kinda shitty that you're gonna have to go back to trying to maneuver around monsters instead of maneuver through monsters. You can see right here that the bow plays exactly the same as it does as in World. You had the little dodge slide that charged it up to full charge. And you can see right here he attempted to do the Dragon Piercer but got interrupted. So that means I'm going to have to go back to learning bow in World and Iceborne before this comes out. One thing I'm not looking forward to is the trigger buttons on the Switch controllers suck ass. And they're great on PS4 controllers, but on the Switch controllers, I fucking hate them. They're literally just clicks. And there's a lot of times I'll be playing like Smash or Mario Kart where you're supposed to hold down the triggers to like hold items or shield and shit, and it'll just stop registering and I'll throw the shell or I'll let go of the block, even though my finger is still holding down the button. For a game like Monster Hunter, where, especially with bow, you have to hold it to get continuous charge and find good opportunities to fire, I'm not looking forward to the controller suddenly fucking glitching out and me losing a fully charged arrow because it decided to let go on its own. So that's going to be really annoying, because that happens even when I'm playing Generations Ultimate and I only have to hold the top trigger button, or top bumper, to use my bow and arrow. So I'm not looking forward to that at all. Here is the Great Izuchi. I'm assuming this is going to be the Great Jagras, Great Baggy. I forget what the fuck it was called in World, but it was the giant yellow fucker.
It's been 50 years since the last calamity.
Okay, so this is really interesting, and I like this, because that in the background is a world monster. World monsters being in this game is interesting, because way back when World first came out, before Iceborne, one of the big complaints Capcom stated as the reason why World wouldn't come to Switch is because the monsters' AIs for World were too complicated with their pathfinding to fit on the Switch's hardware with the engine they were trying to use. So the fact that there is a world monster in this game is really interesting to me, because it means they either found a way to downscale the monster's AIs to make them less intelligent, or they found a way to make the world engine run on Switch after like 2 years. There were hints that this game was supposed to use the remake engine, the RE remake engine, but I honestly can't tell. I'm not sure if World used that engine or not, but this obviously runs on some version of the World engine, just by the fact that there are world monsters here and the way the world looks.
The monster is known as Magnum Hollow.
Maglumo, that's its name. Magnum Hollow, sorry. Oh, go back just a couple seconds here. Okay, so this, you can't really see it because the quality is absolute garbage, but in the background here, you will see that, oh shit, is my stream still going? Okay, yeah, it's still going. That was concerning. Okay, you can see here in the background that each one of the 4 monsters in a multiplayer hunt has their own or what the fuck were they called again? Palamute. Has their own Palamute with them. That is really interesting to me for a couple of reasons. Namely, it means that you're essentially getting 8-player hunts now. Originally, the point for bringing a partner with you, a Palico, is to replace the missing party members you would have in a hunt. So the fact that these 4 hunters all have their Palamutes with them means that they'll be able to go into battle with a full team of 4, along with 4 additional party members. Sure, they're AI based, and they're probably not as powerful, But it's still something interesting to consider, that a lot of monsters are probably going to be made a lot more difficult because of that. Here you can see a turf war, so those are returning. It's also Arzuros, he was not in World, so that means at least some classic monsters are returning. Here we can kind of see an evolution of aerial style, which is interesting to me, because the other styles aren't in this game. So I'm not sure if this is making use of the wire bug, or what the fuck's going on here, but you can see he does a leap forward, another jump in midair, and then he does the spin down the body. The spin down the body was an attack added in, I believe, World, when you did the spin jump off of a ledge. But the jump straight up that he does at the beginning, that's new. I'm not sure where that came from. That guy, the red thing right there, is probably an Elder Dragon of some sort. This looks like the dog using some sort of shield. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but it's kind of interesting. Here you can see them using the wire bug to jump around. This is interesting because that is an aerial triple charge. Aerial triple charge was in Generations and Generations Ultimate. It's how you use your triple charge for Greatsword. But he does this little back dodge at first, and I didn't use Greatsword in World, so I don't know if that's where that's from. But it looked almost like he jumped forward, started the charge, jumped back forward, and then slammed the sword down. This, I genuinely can't tell if this is a new weapon. Kavu-chan seems convinced that this is a lance or a gun lance. I'm assuming if it's either of those, it's a gun lance given the flat top there. But the way he is holding this weapon is totally different from any gun lance I've ever used. The shield and the weapon are switched places. And the way he swings it down and then to the side, and then you can see here, the shield is actually pretty small. Normally, gun lance and regular lance, the shield is the largest part of the weapon, because it is the strongest available defensive option. So the fact that this shield looks so small and dinky is kind of strange to me if it's a gun lance. Here you can see a new attack with the sword and shield. I initially thought this was a new weapon as well, some sort of whip thing, but later in the video, or in the direct, you actually see that this is a type of counter using the wire bug. The monster attacked the shield, and then he threw out a wire bug and spun the sword around. So it looks like there might not be styles or hunter arts, but there are going to be new attacks that incorporate the wire bug, so that is kind of nice. Here's a good look at Magnalamar, or whatever the fuck his name is. It's gonna take me a while before I remember this fucker's name, okay? Like I said, on his tail, which is sort of spear-shaped, you can see the little purple haze, and it's also coming out of his mouth. He is apparently a Fanged Wyvern, which is the same type as Zinogre, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah, there's his face right there. And then there's the logo. Supposedly the rise references the fact that you have to rise to go up around. I don't know who these two are, but I fucking love them. And that's the release date. Coming out March 26th, 2020. I already have it pre-ordered. I spent the last of my money before payday to pre-order this fucking game because I went insane when I heard it was coming out. Will it show it? Okay, so here's some of the pre-order bonuses. You get 4 gestures, so that's kind of annoying. World also did this where gestures were DLC. Don't really like that too much. And now for the really annoying part. Layered armor. Layered armor is returning. Layered armor is cool, except it also means that Transmog isn't returning. Transmog is what allows me to wear the fucking peppy schoolgirl outfit in Generations Ultimate, even though my actual armor is the fucking Atal Ka set. which looks cool, but I kind of like the personalization of transmog. Layered armor was World's version of transmog, where it was only one outfit or a couple more if you bought DLC or pre-ordered, and you could just wear any armor you wanted, and then the layered armor would take place over that. So you didn't have to reforge each item that you wanted to transmog like in XX and Generations Ultimate. But you also didn't have any visual variety, and it was only that one set outfit. Like, you couldn't, say, have a Legiana armor and then transmog that to look like one of the DLC, like Dante's armor. It was only the... what monster was it? It was a classic monster that they had done. What the fuck is it? It's one of the Elder Dragons. The Lao Shan Lung. It was the Lao Shan Lung armor that they had made a layered armor DLC. And I have that. I used it a lot. You'll know that if you watch my World streams. And then for Iceborne, they gave you a free one that was the, like, Russian-styled winter coat, and that one's nice. But again, it was only those outfits, and there were a couple other ones you could buy as well, but you couldn't just throw any armor on and then transmog it to look like any other armor set, and that really bugs me, because I really liked that. Looks like Palicos are getting layered armor as well. I don't remember if Palicos got layered armor in World and Iceborne. Looks like there's also going to be DLC hair and face paint. Kind of annoying, but fine. And here is the layered armor for the Palico and Palamute. They're like weird, hyper-realistic versions of dogs and cats. Kind of weird, but fine, whatever. And the big thing for me is the DLC, is the amiibo. So I have Stories amiibo. I have a Rathalos with the female main character, Lute. Is that her name? I think her name was Lute. I'm actually going to Google this because that's going to bug me. Monster Hunter Stories Lute. Lute. Yeah, okay, Lute is her name. Lute. So I have the Rathalos and female Lute, and then I have the Rathian and Cheval amiibo. I wanted to get some of the other ones, like the Barioth and the Kuropeko, but they were sold out on Amazon. But these look kind of interesting. Specifically, the two I want are the Magnamalo and the Palico. I might get the Palamute as well. It looks like each one unlocks special layered armors. That's really interesting. There's also apparently going to be some integration with Stories 2, the other Monster Hunter game that was announced. And I'm wondering if the already existing Monster Hunter amiibo, like the Lute and Cheval, will work with this game. I'm hoping they do. And yeah, that's my thoughts on the trailer. My big concern for this game is I really fucking hope it runs well, because like I said earlier, the big reason Capcom didn't bring World over to Switch is because it ran like hot trash. And it looks to me like this is a downscaled version of World. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there weren't a whole lot of wild monsters running around in the background. Whereas in World, there were wild shit everywhere in the background. Like, you couldn't take 2 fucking steps without running into an apple. So I'm wondering if the way they optimized the game was just to have less of everything. Like, maybe instead of having 3 monsters in a world at a time, maybe it's just going to be 2 and they'll occasionally run into each other. Maybe Turf Wars are going to be more scripted cinematic events instead of just happening randomly. I'm not sure. Like I said, I also didn't see scout flies or anything like that, so they're obviously cutting down on particle effects and shit like that. But I'm really hoping that the game runs well. From the trailer, it looks like it does. I couldn't notice any like obvious slowdown or anything like that. So yeah, I'm definitely excited, but I'm also a little bit worried, and there's some stuff that they're doing that kind of annoys me, like the layered armor, like the removing the styles, stuff like that. But I'm definitely excited. I have it pre-ordered. Monster Hunter Stories 2, I'm not going to talk too much in depth about because we don't know a whole lot about it, other than the fact that that one green-haired chick is definitely using Breath of the Wild Zelda's voice actress. I rewatched that like 7 times, and I was like, oh, that's where I know that from. I liked Stories 1, but my biggest issue with Stories 1 was that they're all fucking kids, including the monsters. So you go up into battle with like a tiny fucking Rathalos against like Fatalis, and somehow win when your character is canonically like 8 years old, and Fatalis has killed entire kingdoms of people in a single night, and it just didn't make any fucking sense how an 8-year-old and a literal baby Rathalos were able to kill it. But also the fact they call the monsters Monsties always really pissed me off for some reason, and I never figured out why. It just felt weird, and it looks like Stories 2 is going for a more adult theme. It still has the cel-shaded art style, but it looks a lot better, probably because it's on Switch instead of 3DS. It also didn't look like there was any of the horrendous fucking lag that was everywhere in Stories 1. Like, it was cool the first time you rode a Rathalos and flew in the sky in Stories 1, and then you realized the game was running at 10 to 15 FPS, and then it became a chore to ride around on Rathalos because the game just turned into a fucking slog fest. And even on the new 3DS and 3DS, it didn't really improve that much. So I'm glad that the game looks like it runs well. Yeah, I'm excited for Stories 2. Not as much as I'm excited for Rise, but I definitely intend to get both. Also, the fact that Rise has a very obvious Japanese theme. Please stop bringing back music tonight, please. I really, really wanted her to be in Coral, and she's not. Even though there is a perfect area in the Coral Highlands for her. But now we're going for the like portable turtle-esque Japanese theme, which is the monster that Resistance is supposed to represent is the third generation of generations. Please God, bring Resistance back, please. I miss me the Double Dragon, Double Wyvern, I don't know what the fuck you call this. Bubble Fox. I want her so bad. She's my favorite monster. Oh yeah, you guys I just did that right there, but that is the second added dodge that Sword and Shield gets. You get it by holding A in the back exactly as the attack hits you, and it is incredibly difficult to pull off. I managed to do it there, but I think I've only managed to pull off that dodge maybe 10 times in the entirety of using Adept Sword and Shield. So, yeah. Basically farming for Mega Dash Juice. It's easy, I can talk while I do it. And I can sort of like gather my thoughts just because the hunts don't take very long. I don't care about the Ludroth claws or spongy claws or anything like that. I'm literally only after a dash extract. So this is actually a good way to show you how you're supposed to farm for dash extract in this game. Because, like dash juice, is like the most important thing in the universe. So just to give you guys an idea of how much I've done this, I will show you how many times I've hunted more than I have hunted this fucker 220 times. Almost exclusively for the sake of farming dash juice. By comparison, I have hunted... By comparison, I've only hunted the Zitsune 36 times. Solskjaer I've hunted 7 times, but captured a couple more. In fact, let's see if I can find what my second most hunted is. The tallest, 0, darkest 2, 10, 4, 1, 6, 5, 6, 13. Oh, in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, I hunted this monster Shigara Golem 52 times because I was missing a fucking plate. I'm 100 that's interesting. Holy shit, I've hunted 57 directly Rathians. I've almost hunted as many Dreyfleets as I have regular. 29 Hellblades, those were fun. 43 regular. Yeah, I think Gypsaros is going to be my second most hunted at 51. Or no, Yancut 2 at 107. The reason for that is I use the Yancut 2 as like the tutorial monster to remind myself how to fucking play the game. So, I hunt these fuckers all the goddamn time. And the reason for that is how you have to craft Mega Dash Juice is you're going to combine combo list, Mega Dash Juice. You need Dash Extract and Well Done Steaks. So I am always fucking hunting those fuckers. because I have to constantly get more Mega Dash juice. And just from doing that, I had 52 Mega Dash juice. But you factor in, for each hunt, I use at least one every time I use a bow, insect glaive, occasionally gun lance, dual blades, and occasional sword and shield. So that's like 5 of my weapons. Oh, and longsword because fucking valor. So almost all of my weapons I will end up using Mega Dash juice. So I go through it fucking constantly. And how do I get well done steaks, you ask? By going to high rank, this one, successful step. I eat for hopefully failing armor. So I eat for Carver. I hope I get it. I probably won't. So this is the starting area of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. It's also my favorite area in the entire series. I have a lot of nostalgia for this area right here. I can still fucking hear the Terramir telling me to carve up these fuckers and make a mistake. Now, the reason why I do high rank instead of low rank is because you can kill these 3 Aptonoth here, carve them up, and then there is almost always a Yan Kut-Ku in Area 3, and you can go to Area 3, kill that, and then by the time you come back to this area, the Aptonoth are usually respawned, so you can kill them again. Then you only have to end up waiting like 5 or so minutes before more of them spawn in. Which is still annoying, but you can also go around and, like, harvest shit you might need while you're waiting for that. So, let's go there. And of course he goes down just a second. Oh yeah, another complaint about Rise, it looks like Calicos are prowling. aren't going to be playable again. The reason why I say that is because they go out of their way to mention that Palicos are support and healing only, and it's the dogs that have anti-attacking capabilities. That tells me you won't be able to choose Palicos skills and play as them like you can in Gen U. They also cut them in lower than X-Track, although you could still try to choose like Calico skills and shit. Like the Thunder Ring or what the fuck is it called, the Healing Bug and shit like that. That's kind of sad that they're removing them going forward. Considering they were the new weapon type that was introduced for generations. Instead of introducing a weapon style world, they decided to revamp the controls from the user only. I formed that as the way hooks in. It looks like they might have introduced a new weapon and Rise with the weird side possible dominance thing. What if that is just a Rise with dominance that doesn't look like there's any weapons? Instead, they're going to be focusing more on Firebug and just like which is fine. Still Calico weapon. They could have even made the Palamute playable and then done like that as the new weapon. I don't know. That's just something I kind of find annoying because I love playing as Palicos. They are super broken, which I guess makes sense why they removed them. But like, Insect Glaive was stupidly broken in 4 Ultimate, and they didn't remove it then. They removed it. Same with Charge Blade. 4 Ultimate introduced 2 new weapons, so it was Charge Blade and Insect Blade. So yeah, while I'm waiting for them to heal, or not heal, to respawn, gotta collect like honey, mushrooms, herbs, stuff like that that you always need. My throat is also starting to hurt from all the talking, so I'm going to shut up for a bit. Hopefully I managed to mute my microphone in time to mute that. I just had a horrible sneeze. If you guys heard that, I'm sorry. I tried to mute my fucking laptop. This is kind of the chill, relaxing part of Monster Hunter, though, where you can just listen to, like, the ambient noise and do some collecting and shit. I like this part of Monster Hunter just as much as I like the actual, like, hunting shit part. Was that overkill? Absolutely. Do I care? Not at all. Need one more piece of road. I don't think you can get from Tel Aviv, but I'm going to try anyway. No, guess I'm not playing it, Daddy. They have probably respawned now. No, they haven't. Weird. Only they respawn right now. Well, I guess 9 was good enough. Normally I like to make it an even 10, but it's fine. Then when we're done, just go up here. And here we go. I guess I can show you guys an Arzuros hunt, since he's technically a new monster for people who've only played World. Oh, if you guys are wondering why I didn't cook any of the steak that I carved, you can cook it all at once and then wait for more to spawn and carve more, but you can also use this one if you request it, cook, and you'll either get most of them or all of them as well-done steaks by the time you finish your boss. So that actually speeds up farming a lot. Might be coming to this area. Yep. So this is Arzuros. You can see he did get a redesign for Rise. He looks more realistic in that game, whereas in this game he still looks kind of cartoony. Arzuros' big thing is he will go after honey at every available moment, even ignoring sometimes. But he does get stronger as he honey. Great for attitude training because he has those big flags that are pretty easy to telegraph. just tried to do it to me, that's why I was running away from him a little bit. He also has a ridiculousness level 4. Like, yeah, I'm using endgame weapons, but this guy is a bitch. Hopefully they give him a bit more health and lives. There is Redhelm Arzuros, who is his deviant form, and he has a lot more health and hits a lot harder. I hate so too bad, like I can reliably solo Redhelm Arzuros. In fact, it is probably the easiest of all the units. Was asking if Rise is more world or classic. For better or worse, it's more world than classic. It's got some classic stuff in it, but it's extremely world. Is hurting while talking of the trailer, so ideally what I have a hunter on. Roll is always fun. Was this a capture? Yeah, it was capture. Let's not capture the Nahara because I will kill it. And away we go. It'd be a little shitty without a map, to be honest. But I'm right next to the camp, so I can grab one. Sorry about the constant yawning, guys. I am exhausted. Also, I'm not doing a whole lot of talking. Although that's also largely because of talking over the trailer. So this is not Harala. He's one of the monsters who was introduced in 4. And his thing is that his scales are ridiculously strong. Like, when the content in Full Ultimate is considered a wall for a lot of players, because basically anything that isn't really sharpness is gonna bounce right off of you. And when the content in Full Ultimate, all of your weapons are still yellow sharpness. And even then, there are parts of his body where basically anything less than purple will bounce off. Like his tail is super reinforced and hard to hit. But what was nice was that the insect blade will hit regardless of whether or not an item would bounce off when you're doing a mounting attack. So the cheesiest way possible to beat him was just use insect blade and then repeatedly do aerial attacks on it, like over and over again. It was cheesy, but it worked. If it's cheesy and it works, then it's not cheesy. He also has a lot of prowess, and as you can see, we're trying to keep reviewing plays. Which again was really nice for insect blade, because you could literally just hop over him. You can also blow up his little little scales like that as well. Although I will say, trying to get extracts off of this fucker with insect egg is borderline impossible. Because you get red from his tail, you get white from his arms, and you get orange from his body. So you would get white and orange constantly. Trying to get red off of this fucker is so hard. As you guys know, if multiple plants are red is the most important of all of the colors. Like, you want all three, but if you have to settle for one of them, settle for red. I saw a fire blast on his head, which is probably because the cat is using a blast gun. I think that was what killed him, the blast status effect. Blast that got him. Oh, sorry. Astalos next. Alright, I'll do an Astalos hunt. Didn't even realize there's someone else watching. Thanks for joining in. He represents the first generation. Although I should probably use my other bow now that I've got it. This one does not have a lot of range. I shouldn't be taking a water bow to an electric fight, but this is all G-rank shit. I'm fighting a high rank version of him, so it's not a big deal. Astalos is kind of a bitch anyway, so. I could take the rifles that I just use for that shit. I am in the secret zone. So occasionally when you spawn in classic Monster Hunters in high-end G rank, you'll spawn in the secret zone, which basically just has better items than anywhere else you can gather on the map. It kinda happened in World 2 where your Rememberus would drop you off at random spots, but it's not quite the same thing. What the fuck is right here? I did. So Farcasters aren't in World or Iceborne, but basically what they do is allow you to go right back to the base camp to get a map. Or if you're a cat and you have Farcaster, you can use that to go to the bed and restore your acorns, which is extremely broken because, again, it basically means you have infinite lives. Technically drinking that a little early, but I'm tired of having to let go of the sprint button. And the area he's in is the climbing area. If you guys saw the NCH Productions video of the Conchu World Tour, I believe it's called, the area that Astalos is currently in is that area. So there's gonna be a bunch of fucking Conchu. Although, if this area were in Monster Hunter Rise, that would be fucking awesome. Like being able to just bring up walls and shit. You guys recognize the music here? That would be from False Tracks, but Dun 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 part is the tags from Astalos. It's called the Electric Rebel, I believe. What's worse, a Conchu or a fucking Apex weapon? I'm pretty sure I would say Conchu is more annoying than Apex Rocket. At least Apex Rocket can kill. Conchu just fucking exists. That wouldn't have been as bad if I was in for Was it worth it getting hit again? Yes. That time that's all. That was just another one I team there. Once again, the most important part of Rise that I'm looking forward to is being able to just fucking Prince of Persia up these goddamn walls. That's the thing I hate the most about classic Monster Hunter, is when you chase a monster to a new area, attack it like 3 times, and then it just bugs off. I remember there was one time I was hunting Volstrax, and it was in the giant-ass fucking desert map, right? And I spent 10 minutes, maybe 15, trying to hunt it down because I forgot to fucking bring Warfare. As soon as I find it, right, he fucking flies away. Didn't even have time to use it without that effect. So I spent another 15 minutes trying to fucking find it again. And by the time I finally did, I lost the hunt because I couldn't kill it fast enough. Because I wasted 25 minutes of fucking hunt I could chase it down. Oh, does he sleep in that area? Okay. Thought he slept in the nest area. Great timing. I don't exactly need that. It is my life's mission to exterminate every fucking monster on this planet. Raslos is a good hunt. He's not too complicated, he kind of just does a lot of swipes and charges. Basically, if you can handle a Rathian, you can handle Raslos. Nice long range kill shot there. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my discussion on Monster Hunter Rise and the kind of chill hunt. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!